Hi, I'm Varun Khanna, Siloam Senior Director of Healthcare Business, Corporate Strategy and Investments. It's a pleasure to announce Siloam's operational and financial results for the first quarter of 2022. We thank you for your support, especially throughout the pandemic, and we always enjoy spending time with our investors and stakeholders to share more about Siloam's growth journey. We booked strong financial results in the first quarter of 2022. Siloam's revenue and EBITDA were 1.75 trillion and 409 billion respectively in the first quarter of 2022. Our EBITDA margin was 23.4%. Siloam's net profit in the first quarter was 102 billion rupiah. These robust financial results were in spite of a drop in patient volumes in February due to a spike in Omicron cases combined with low volumes of COVID patients due to decreasing severity of COVID variants. The first quarter results provide a solid foundation for the rest of the year. Siloam's patient volumes continued their firm growth trajectory in the first quarter of 2022. Inpatient admissions were more than 51,000, a 26% increase from the first quarter of 2021. Inpatient days in the first quarter 2022 was stable compared to the first quarter of 2021 at around 180,000 despite significantly lower volumes of COVID patients in 2022. Siloam had around 699,000 outpatient visits in the first quarter of 2022, an increase of 28% compared to the first quarter of 2021. Even though the Omicron wave in February impacted patient volumes, Siloam's inpatient admissions, inpatient days, and outpatient visits were 3.3, 4.2, and 1% higher respectively compared to the fourth quarter of 2021. Inpatient admissions and outpatient visits were higher in the first quarter of 2022 than any other quarter over the previous 7 quarters. In the first quarter of 2022, private patients contributed around 82% to Siloam's revenue compared with only 70% in the first quarter of 21, and total private revenue was 9% higher year on year. Even with Omicron surge causing a drop in patient volumes in February, private patient contribution to revenue remained at the same level as the fourth quarter of 21. We've continued to strengthen and invest in our medical capabilities including oncology, cardiology, neurology, fertility, and kidney transplants. As part of our continued investment to provide best-in-class treatment for patients suffering from cancer, we've invested in additional linear accelerators. We use a multidisciplinary team therapy approach to enable rapid and accurate diagnosis and treatment for cancer and thus shortening time from diagnosis to treatment. Siloam now has 2 fertility clinics in Jakarta and Palembang. These clinics have quickly become successful in helping parents to be blessed with children. We are incredibly proud to announce that since the opening of these clinics in 2021, more than 100 babies have been born with assistance. Fertility treatment is rapidly growing in demand, and this is a space where we believe we can see significant growth. Siloam has performed more than 150 kidney transplants, and our hospital, Siloam Asri, is a leader in this field in Indonesia. We are currently the only private hospital in the nation that can offer this service. We have some of the nation's leading neurology and cardiology centers of excellence. Siloam has 20 stroke-ready hospitals and will shortly be adding 2 more. 2 of Siloam's hospitals can perform deep brain stimulation to treat degenerative cognitive illness such as Parkinson's. Siloam continues to build new and strengthen existing relationships with the best medical talent in Indonesia. All our clinical programs are complemented by thorough training and development programs to help our doctors and staff maximize their potential and to achieve the best possible outcomes for our patients. Siloam has continued to strengthen its digital capabilities and integrate them further into our operating model. We've revamped our website to make it more user-friendly, informative, and importantly, easier for patients to make bookings online. we've continued developing our My Siloam application to add more upscale functions, including making it easier for patients to find the right doctor for themselves. We've integrated our hospital information system with My Siloam, and this enables our patients to access their medical records through our application and thus making receiving medical services more efficient. We also added more functionality to our digital channels by adding teleconsultation features, seamless medical checkup, as well as providing information to our nearest hospitals within the patient's location. In the first quarter of 2022, the number of people who used our digital channels increased by 273% compared to the first quarter of 21. We expect the number of users of our digital platforms to increase exponentially throughout 2022. In the first quarter of 22, Siloam opened its first hospital under its new Managed Services business line. This model is similar to what marquee hotel brands would do across the world. Via this business line, an external investor uses their own capital to build and fit out the hospital, and once built, Siloam manages the hospital. We then leverage our brand and integrate our billing systems along with our centralized hospital information systems to manage the hospital. Through this business model, we can establish new hospitals without taking on any investment risk and then generate a new income stream by taking a percentage of revenue from the hospital. This business line will provide Siloam with low-risk opportunities for expansion while generating stable revenue streams. Siloam continued to invest in our clinical capabilities throughout COVID, and we are fully prepared to move forward in a COVID-free world. I'm incredibly optimistic about the opportunities that this year will bring. We will serve more and more patients than at any other time in our company's history, and we'll continue to drive financial performance and grow shareholder value. It's been a privilege to be a member of Siloam's team, especially throughout the pandemic, and it brings me significant joy to know that we are moving past this window in history.
Hi, I'm Daniel Phua, Siloam's Chief Financial Officer. In 2021, Siloam achieved record high revenue, EBITDA, and net profit. Throughout 2021, Siloam treated more than 20,000 COVID patients and performed more than 2.5 million COVID tests. Since the fourth quarter of 2021, thankfully, the number of COVID patients has fallen significantly across our hospital network as well as throughout the country. This is an incredibly positive development, as despite the spike in COVID that was experienced during the Omicron wave, the number of patients hospitalized or who had serious symptoms was overall quite small. There is good evidence that the pandemic is subsiding and moving towards endemic. COVID treatment contributed approximately 12.4% to overall revenue in 2021. As the pandemic subsides and variants become far less severe, we expect COVID treatment revenue to contribute to only a low single-digit percentage of revenue in 2022. This is a very welcome development that the nation can successfully move into the post-COVID operating environment, and Siloam can fully mobilize each of its hospitals for comprehensive medical treatment. In the first quarter of 2021, COVID treatment contributed 18.3% to Siloam's revenue. In the first quarter of 2022, COVID treatment contributed only 2.9% of revenue. Indonesia has been fortunate that despite a significant spike of COVID cases in the first quarter, including more than 1.1 million new cases in February, hospitalization from COVID has been very low. Siloam treated only 3,300 COVID patients in the first quarter of 2022. Siloam faced a situation where COVID admittances were very low, and the spike in COVID cases also caused a sharp decrease in non-COVID patient volumes in February. Despite the trough in patient volumes in February, volumes did recover nicely in March, and Siloam still booked strong financial results. I'm incredibly pleased with Siloam's performance in the first quarter of 2022. Siloam booked revenue of 1.75 trillion rupiah, in the first quarter of 2022, a decrease of 8.7% compared with the first quarter of 2021. Siloam also booked EBITDA of 409 billion rupiah in the first quarter of 2022, a decrease of 15.4% compared with the first quarter of 2021. EBITDA margins in 1Q22 remain resilient at 23.4%. This is lower compared to the 25.3% in 1Q21. Siloam's net profit in 1Q22 was 102 billion rupiah, a 32% decrease compared with net profit in 1Q21. However, I believe it's important to put Siloam's result in context. It is important to review them with like-for-like quarters under similar operating environment. Siloam's revenue and EBITDA in the first quarter of 22 was only 0.1% and 3% lower compared with the fourth quarter of 2021. Siloam's revenue and EBITDA in the first quarter was 21% and 34.7% higher respectively than in the first quarter of 2020. Siloam has very strong and stable operational cash flow generation capabilities. Siloam's operational cash flow in the first quarter was 221 billion and our net cash position was 1.72 trillion rupiah as at the end of March 2022. Patient volumes continue their upward trajectory in April, and barring further COVID spikes, this trend will continue. As COVID dissipates, we expect a more stable upward trend in patient volumes without trough caused by COVID. We welcome this development and are incredibly happy to see that Indonesia is successfully moving into a post-COVID operating environment. As we look past COVID, Siloam is able to focus on strategic growth, including acquiring and building greenfield hospitals, investing in our clinical capabilities, and growing our managed services model. Our cost management programs have been effective throughout COVID, and we will continue to drive operational efficiencies. Siloam has opened a managed service business model whereby external investors will provide capex for hospitals and assumes the business risk. Siloam collects a percentage of revenue as a management fee. This asset-light model allows Siloam to easily expand into new areas with little or no cost to Siloam's investors, but with the addition of a new and low-risk revenue stream. Siloam opened a hospital via this arrangement in Holland Village in Jakarta. We are actively exploring further opportunities via this business model. Siloam's Kuta and Nusa Dua Hospital in Bali have always catered for the tourist market. Throughout COVID, their revenue and patient volumes have been deeply impacted. In the first quarter of 2022, these two hospitals had their best quarter since the first quarter of 2020. As travel restrictions have been removed from key tourist nations such as Australia, and people feel more comfortable to travel again, we expect these hospitals to see sharp increase in patient volumes and revenue for the remainder of 2022. Siloam's business remained highly resilient in the first quarter of 2022, and we booked strong financial results. We rebounded sharply in March from the impacts of COVID in February, and this trend continued in April. As COVID moves further into the rear-view mirror, our focus is increasingly shifting towards growth projects. We are on track to achieve our financial targets in 2022, and I'm excited about all of the opportunities that this year will bring. Thank you all.
I'm Caroline Riadi, Siloam's Deputy President Director. Over the past 5 quarters, Siloam has very successfully attained a level of business transformation that we've been working towards for the past 3 years. We've converted many of our previous loss-making hospitals to profitability, and for those that are still making small losses, there's a clear path to profitability. We've been enabling our business for the future by building strong back-end systems, including the automation of services and developing systems that monitor patient experience. We have invested consistently so that we are ahead of the curve for clinical outcomes. We've improved quality and reporting for each individual hospital and ensure that we can compare each of our hospitals with one another. We've gotten to the stage where we can benchmark some of our clinical programs globally, and will further enhance our benchmarking capabilities in 2022. As we improve our programs, we create a natural competitiveness in the market, and we're pushing all healthcare providers to be better and deliver better outcomes to Indonesians. In 2021, Siloam embarked upon a journey to build a formal environmental, social, and governance framework throughout our business. While many aspects of ESG have always been a part of our business, we've taken the opportunity to formalize many of these processes and to embed management KPIs relating to ESG. Siloam contributes to economic growth, community development, and the improvement of health and well-being of the nation. As our business grows, the positive impact that we have on Indonesia also grows. We have initiated ESG-related projects to grow the positive impact that our businesses have on the community. Ultimately, our goal is to be the leading sustainability and ESG performing health company in the region. To accurately analyze Siloam's positioning in ESG related to other healthcare providers around the world, we first undertook an ESG assessment by EcoVadis. EcoVadis is a global ESG screening company that provides comprehensive grading of companies' business practice and policies relating to ethics, labor, and human rights, the environment, and procurement. Siloam undertook our first assessment in 2022. At that time, we scored an overall score of 34, which positioned us in the bottom 19% of all healthcare companies assessed by EcoVadis worldwide. In 2021, after building the foundations of our ESG framework, we undertook the second EcoVadis assessment. We scored higher on every metric and increased our overall score from 34 out of 100 to 48 out of 100, and we received a bronze level rating. Siloam is now in the 50th percentile, which means we are in the top 50% of healthcare companies screened by EcoVadis worldwide, the majority of these being located in highly regulated markets such as Europe and the US. This is an exceptional achievement in just 1 year. To ensure we continue on this trajectory, we've put together a comprehensive ESG program to build on our accomplishments. We want investors, both large and small, to have the opportunity to be able to enjoy the benefits of investing in Siloam. To make the company's shares more affordable for retail investors, Siloam performed an 8-to-1 stock split in early April. By doing this, the price of the minimum lot size for acquiring Siloam shares dropped by 8 times, and thus made our shares significantly more affordable for many retail investors. In the 7 trading days post the stock split, Siloam's trading volume was around 43 million shares. In the trading days prior to the stock split, Siloam's equivalent trading volume, taking into account the stock split amount, was around 26 million shares. We hope that there will be a sustained increase in volume as we welcome additional investors to our share register. We will continue to explore ways in which we can increase liquidity and drive shareholder value. Having achieved so much operationally and financially over the past year, this leaves me even more responsibility to make sure we can continue developing and improving our business. We have a strong focus on clinical programs, our core business, as well as strategic network development. We're finding new streams of revenue, including developing our managed services model, and we're proud to have opened our first hospital under this model in the first quarter of 2022. Indonesia is currently undergoing a digital transformation, and we continue to invest in our digital capabilities to make sure that we effectively manage our business in this digital era. This is a wonderful country, and we deserve a world-class healthcare system. Siloam is helping to build the foundations of this in each project we undertake. It is a long road. However, we've been here 25 years, and we plan on leading the development of Indonesia's medical capabilities for the foreseeable future.